All right, class. So yesterday we had talked about art licensing. So at this point, you should have a pretty good idea of what art licensing is about and how it works. I also did explain our next project a little bit. I said that you're going to be creating a design and you're going to be putting it on a product. So I'd like to explain a little bit more about this with you. So this is my example yesterday. So a student that did this design last year in Adobe Illustrator, and they made it into a pillow, right? So let me go over the requirements for this project, and then I'll flip book because we're going to use a program to place it onto a pillow and then crop it so that it looks something like this. So for your project, you're going to be, as an artist, you need to create a brand identity, right? So if you go into this field, you want to know who your clientele is, and you want to create artwork um, that's consistent, right? That has some sort of a theme that people can identify with. It's very important. So what you need to think about is what type of design work will you create for your product, right? So what interests you, right? Would you want to create a t-shirt? Would you want to create a plate? Would you want to create a pillow? Would you want to create a design on a blanket, on a hat? I mean, if you look at any type of product out there, you can see that there's designs all over everything. So you want to first think about your product, and then what type of design you're going to place on that product, right? So for this project, you're required to create one final design. So all I'm asking for is one final design that looks like this. However, I would like to see sketches completed of a series of 2 or 3 designs with similar themes, which I'll show you my example in a second. So your sketches that you're going to complete might be 2 or 3 different designs with similar themes. And then you're going to be taking one of them and making that your final design, which will look like this. Your final image can be created in Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator if you have access to them. However, you can be as creative as you want with this. I know some of you don't have easy access to these programs. Even though you can get them at home, I know that it might be hard to get access to them or, whatnot. So these designs can be hand-drawn, painted. You could create some sort of a collage with paper. You could even do something similar to what we do with the Charles Demuth, where maybe you type something up and you trace over it. It's really like your choice of medium. Your image may include text, graphics, shapes, patterns. I don't mind if you take quotes from the internet and place them into your design or around your image or design. And I don't mind if you, include both text and imagery, but I don't want to see just text. I want to see some sort of a image or concept or happening around that as well. What I don't want to see is I want it to be as original as possible. I don't want to see you copying something off the internet. So it's one thing to take a famous quote, place it on your design and add imagery around it, or designs, but I don't want to see you taking an image of a drawing of a cat from online and then copying it completely and saying that that's your cat drawing. That would be called plagiarism, right? So I don't want to see things like that, but you could definitely use pictures on the internet for reference and inspiration and so forth. So this is where I want us to start for today and tomorrow. First, I want to see your inspirational page. This is something that you can do today for today's class. So I thought, you know what? Let's see, I could make a a cell phone case. I could make a pin. I could make a cup. So I can make a pillow. So you can see on the top right, I kind of placed products that I was interested in using for my design. And then on the bottom and the left side, you can see I found pictures of tulips. So it's like spring. I thought maybe I would find inspiration in flowers. So those are some of the images of tulips that I found. So this is what I would like to see from you today. If I want to show you the website that you can go to. So the website that you can go to is actually called Zazzle. Some of you may have heard it before, but it's a really fun site. So what Zazzle has, it has all different types of products that you can print your own designs on. So if you click off to the left side, you can see that there's a million different options here. You can create invitations and cards. There's all different types of clothing. There's home decor, so you can print on pillows, blankets, tapestry, pillowcases. So I went to mugs, barware, table kitchenware, baked goods, right? So there's a million electronics, iPhone cases, office supplies, notebooks, hair. You could print on bags. So many different things. So let's say frisbees. I wanted skateboarding. Sorry, I keep seeing all these things. I wanted to print on, where was I? thought I saw pillows, but now I'm losing where that is. But okay, let's say I wanted to print on a handbag, right? So if I click on it, you can see that they have handbags here that you could add to and add pictures to. But what I want you to see the blank ones and say like your image here. So let's say I wanted to print on this, right? I just want you to get an idea. So that's kind of how we did this in past classes. So I had everyone like snap a picture of it or like print screen a picture of this, and then you could add it as like, hey, this is something I'd like to put my design onto. And then if you notice, which I'll go over a little bit later, is it gives you dimensions of the bag and so forth down here, so you can figure out how big the bag should be when you go to create your design on paper or in Photoshop or in Illustrator. So that's how I got these pictures. They're from Zazzle, and I just snapped a picture of them and put them onto my page. Your inspirational page can be, and then I saved images of tulips, could be done in like a Word doc. It could be done. You could share it with me any way. Like you could just attach the images to the assignment page, and then so I want you to also look through Zazzle, think about what you're going to create, and then essentially we're going to get into a sketch, which I'll talk a little bit about more tomorrow, and then move more into how to start designing it. So what I'll do from my sketches is start branching off and showing you two different ways. I'll start planning it in like Photoshop or Illustrator, and then I'll also show you how I'd plan it on paper if that's something, you know, if you were doing it by hand. So I'll show you those two separate ways. But for today's class, really, I want you to work on your inspirational page. I'd like to have, you know, at least 3 or 4 inspirational pictures, and then on top of that, you know, some images of things you'd like to put your design on. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know, and enjoy your day.